What's up, everybody? Good morning. How's everybody doing out there? I don't want to disturb all of the deer. There's like literally so many deer that are around everywhere. One almost let me touch it, like literally let me let come like in 2 inches from its face. I took pictures of it as well. Let me take pictures of it. They're so at peace with me right now. How's everybody doing out there? So if you want to support me, hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I know there's probably a lot of new listeners, new watchers. Hey, Meg. What's up, Dwayne? Dwayne. What's up, Wayne? A lot of probably there's a few new people. Every time I'm on Leak Project, a few new people show up. So, welcome everybody if you're just joining us. If this is your first time, what up? I just did a show on Leak Project like 2 days ago. I think he aired it. Yeah, he aired it yesterday morning. And it was awesome, man. I brought it. I had to actually take a breath sometimes, take a deep breath and pace myself because I was trying to get out so much information. You know, it's usually an hour show. I think I even went like almost 2 hours because you never know when you're not going to be able to do all of this again. Computers, everything can be shut down tomorrow morning. We can wake up to a whole new world. Anything can happen. So when I relay messages and try to get out information out there and help seek the truth with others and help, you know, how we all help each other connect the dots, even through the live chats. We help each other connect the dots. That's why I don't understand when people are negative in live chats. I think there was only like one or two trolls that I saw. Actually, just one. Dude even commented about my mom and my lineage. You don't even know me. Said I was even too young. People think I look young, I guess. But, you know, I'm in my 40s, bro. And I've been through everything in my life. And, you know, I've been through so much. If you've been through my life, I'm part wild dog, I'm part lover, and I'm part shaman. But shaman's part of it all. I'm part martial artist and musician. It's in code. I've lived so many lifetimes. And shaman or no shaman, you talk about mama, my mama, I will whoop your ass, brother, for real. So I don't know what you're trying to say, but even commented on the tensor tools, like, yeah, there's other companies that make them. We even know each other. But what the hell are you trying to say? So be gone, be gone. That's some people say there's one rule when you're like when you do radio shows and all, never read the comments. And I used to not, but you miss out. People want to ask you questions. People want to share their stories with you as well, and people want to connect with you. So that's why I go in there, you know. So all the time and energy I put, it's worth it just to deal with the little riffraff. But today, I'm gonna give you guys a little brief rundown of some of the stuff that I've been talking about and lately, and some of the stuff I want to share with you guys. And I'm going to be putting way more in depth on my Patreon. That is the platform to go to. I finally am able to figure out StreamYard because my connection at my house wasn't so good for a while. But I can figure out StreamYard. But if someone knows how to like edit stuff on YouTube, edit videos, or do any of that stuff, I'm not really that familiar. My wife is pretty good at making websites and stuff like that, but we don't have any experience yet in like editing videos and doing all that stuff. So if anybody out there wanted to help me with that, that would be beautiful. I'll send you crystals and stuff like that. I can't really pay you or anything right now, but uh, I will hook you up, as give you readings and whatever. You know, it's technology stuff is it's kind of new to me, believe it or not. Even though I've been doing a radio show for years, I always stayed away from computers pretty much, and I don't use them very much. So now I'm starting to get more used to it now. And we talked about some very interesting things on Rex this time. And one of the topics, and I know it sounds woo-woo when we talk about it, when we use the term light or light codes, but it goes back so far in ancient lore and in ancient diagrams, even in ancient Egyptians, supposedly the Atlanteans, anybody who's been getting telepathic signs or telepathic messages or is psychic in any way has gotten similar visions as other people. And you could tell that they were using advanced light technology. And what I mean by this is that there's unseen forces around us. There's a harmonic resonance around us as well. The sun, in my opinion, is a portal, and things enter into our atmosphere and get anchored to people through the sun and to our bioenergetic field. And for those that are familiar with who I am, some people are brand new today, but some people have been following my information for years, like Meg in the chat room. And I mentioned it for a little while on the show yesterday that I was born in the Caul, and that's spelled Caul, and with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. Now, in the occult or in mysticism, shamanism, almost across the board in all cultures, they look at somebody that's born that way, having to be grow up with second sight or a heightened connection to their bioenergetic field or their soul or their spirits. You know, a lot of people end up growing up seeing ghosts or apparitions or getting psychic information somehow, or having just hyper senses in general, and being able to sense people really well, sense auras, sense unseen energy. And it all has to do, in my opinion, with our visible light spectrum and the sun opening codes from the sun, opening our visible light spectrum by communicating with our higher brain and with our pineal gland. And the sun can bring us these codes. And it's part of the whole sun-moon matrix. And I do feel that the soul comes through the sun and gets anchored to our physical body from above. And when the baby's in the womb, it's in this sac called the caul, the amniotic sac. And sometimes babies, when they get pushed out of the mother, they're still in this sac with it wrapped around their head and face. Now, it's my understanding that our Merkava, what I believe a Merkava is, and what they're describing in ancient Hebrew and Kabbalah, and even in, now they call it the Merkaba in English, like with a B, which actually means like a Ma'aseh Merkava means workings of the chariot. Now, what I feel from my own personal experience and from what I research from the last few decades, what I feel that it's describing is that you can connect to your light body, your higher dimensional self. And when you do, it can transition you to that light body, right? But it puts you in this like holographic spinning cage for your physical body to be safe and go into there, right? Something like that. It's sort of like you interface with this glowing membrane around you. It's a skin. It's another skin around you, but it's around your energetic layers. And if you are able to interface with it, and I think, we've been shut off from it. It's been turned off, but some people can actually connect with it. And I think this is what happened with Ezekiel as well. But let me not jump ahead. And like I said, it's going to be further put on my Patreon. So definitely check that out, patreon.com/themysticalspiral. We're going to be doing a live stream as well about all of this. So and I don't have all the answers. I'm just telling you from my personal experience what I see and what it feels like to me. So you can believe me or not, but let it at least intrigue you to do your own research. I think that somehow we get put into this cage, this like holographic spinning cage that's part of our glowing membrane around us, an energetic layer around us. And it spins us until we reach a resonant frequency that's the same as the earth, and it puts us into the 0 point zone. It puts us in the free zone, and we could fly. We become these like spherical orbs. We become a light body. And I think that this is what happens when people die a normal death, when they're able to transition, come to peace with their death, and they transition into their light body before their physical body stops beating. When people die a sudden death, a violent sudden death, they're not able to transition to that light body, that skin, and for it to carry themselves off, and they get put in the wandering zone, and I think that's what is happening there now. It's also the waves of light, the heat, everything has codes in it. I want to share one experience with you that is very interesting, and I've had many years to think about it, and I know it was from codes from the sun. Is ever since I had a near-death experience when I was 10 years old, I was having these visits, these dream astral visits, telepathic visits from a young Native American girl, and I haven't seen her actually in many years now, but it used to be like a common thing that she would come in my dreams. I would see her in my mind. She looked like the same age as I was, right? Possibly me from another timeline or some sort of ancestry, right? So uh, one time when I was in California, I actually saw this girl in physical reality, and what happened was incredible because I get chills. I feel the electromagnetic energy just going up my spine thinking about it. And I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure that nobody else in that park saw it as well. And I've had another interesting experience that you guys know if you've heard my story in that same park in the Cesar Chavez in Long Beach. Well, one time I was in this park and it was so hot out that you can see the like it's so hot you could see the waves of the heat in the air. Say you're like 20 30 feet away and you're looking in front of you, and you could see, like, it's so hot out, you could see like the waves of the heat in the air moving. Like it's like, you could see it, like coming almost like it's coming from the sun, these waves of heat that's it's making it so hot. Like you see these waves of heat in the air. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, I was looking at waves of heat in the air, like it's part of the air, it's like shimmering heat. And I was looking at that like 20 or 30 feet in front of me, and out of those waves of heat, first it was translucent, like a translucent young girl, like a translucent shape of a young person, and then it pushed into matter, like it pushed into a physical form, and it was real life like as you and me, but more of a glowing you and me. A little girl, Native American, and she seemed to have like a glowing field around her, and I only saw her for like 2 seconds, and as I saw her, I heard in my mind Beth. And then as soon as I heard that word, the name, she disappeared. It sort of like drew back into the waves of heat. Like she almost like went from physical back to the translucent for a split second, and then back to the waves of heat, and it just was the waves of heat again. It's like she emerged from the waves of heat, and it was amazing. And in my head I heard Beth. Now Beth is like a Hebrew name, it's not Native American, but when I looked into the name Beth, it actually means spirit house. Blew me away. Now I jumped ahead a little bit because I wanted to bring up another part that's going to be part of my demonstration, my talk on Patreon, is that the call, I believe, is connected to the Merkava. And when a baby is born with that call around them, it's interface, it's imprinting that on us. And the call, while it's in the womb, the soul, for it to enter the baby, it has to pass through that membrane, through that sac around the baby, and it filters through it. And I think that gets imprinted on that membrane, and it's connected to our Merkava. And I believe that when we're born with it, we receive a little bit of that imprint, and that's why we come out with like a more telepathic sense. It's a blessing and a curse in a place. And I belong to a group of people that from all over the world that have been born that way, and they all have similar experiences. So it's even in courtroom testimonies during the Inquisition that people were born with these astral abilities that were born in the call. They used to worship the call. They would keep them too. When the baby was born, the mother would save it a lot of times, make him into necklaces and shit. But if you guys have not checked out my radio show, if you're new listeners, I do a weekly show for the last few years. Oh, I just walked into a spider web on the Truth Frequency Radio Network. It's run by my co-worker and friend, Chris and Sherry Gio. I've known Chris for a couple of years now. They own the station. So I'm on that network, Truth Frequency Radio Network. There's a bunch of diverse different shows on there. I'm on there every Saturday night from 7 to 9 Eastern. And the next week is going to be exciting. I got a longtime friend and colleague of the show, Maria Wheatley. She's an expert dowser, author and researcher into megalithic secrets and explorer, especially of like Stonehenge and Avery, that area, um, all throughout England and all throughout the world. And I've been interviewing her for like 5 years already, since 2015, and she's always got new and exciting stuff to share. And then that's August 1st. August 8th will be my new buddy. You know, the last couple months we've been sharing a lot of work together and showing, and I'm really excited to work with him more in the future. Roger Spur from Mud Fossil University, he'll be on, and he doesn't do much radio shows, so he said it would be his pleasure to join, and it's going to be really a treat because there's a lot of new exciting work that I've been sharing with him and that we've been working on that is going to blow some minds. Stuff that I've been drawing since I'm a kid and really didn't know what it was, like little doodles I've been doing, lead right to his light acceleration experiments. And people think, oh, light's fixed, it can't be accelerated, it's already accelerated. But he's got experiments that show that, yes, light can be accelerated, and I do believe it's the same thing that happens when the soul, is that you're accelerating your light body. And it's been talked about in ancient Egypt. That's why I'm retranslating the old, you know, what's the old ways. Some of the old sayings of history are completely wrong. They're people that weren't getting taught, and people got to understand that. Yeah, we don't have all the answers, but history needs to be rewritten, and we have to start somewhere. And this is where we start. This is where we start. And you can find my weekly radio show. And so Roger is August 8th, and then August 15th is regular guest Gary Wayne, my buddy, one of my favorite guests. If you haven't heard of Gary Wayne, he writes Genesis 6 Conspiracy, and you can go to genesis6conspiracy.com. He's a biblical scholar and Christian contrarian, and all around really great guy. I have people of all religions on that I respect, and it's a great show, you know. So definitely check us out every Saturday night. And of course, I'm on Patreon and my mysticalspiral.com and the mysticalspiralstore.com. Everything is at the mysticalspiral.com, the store. Everything is there. Information, free podcasts, a lot of stuff out there. Before I was on Truth Frequency Radio Network, I did a show called Spiral Radio, which was on the Para X Radio Network. So all of my 2 years basically of shows every week, I did an hour show back then. Now it's a 2-hour show. But back in the day when I was on Para X Radio, I did an hour a week, like 80 weeks in a row. Then I transferred over to Truth Frequency Radio. But all of my old shows from Spiral Radio are up on my mysticalspiral.com. You know, you could download them. They're there for free listening. There's summaries of them, of the guests and everything, the guest website. It's all there in the menu. And you can my current radio show. Each week, the show is for free. You can listen to it live, and then it's free for that whole week until I do another show. And then you could subscribe in the archives. Now, the archives, we used to split the money, but now all the money goes to the station because the station, everything's been hard money. So if you subscribe, it goes to support us, keeping us live for free every week right now. So it's really worth subscribing because you get, you know, hundreds of shows that I've done, but hundreds and hundreds of shows of all the other hosts. I think there's like 40 shows or 38 shows or 41 shows, or there's between like 37 and 41 hosts. So all these different shows on there, and you get all the archives to all their libraries. So it's definitely worth $5 or $10 a month, whatever you pay. So that's pretty much it. You guys, thank you for joining me. You can always support me, donate at my website if you want to support me, or right here in YouTube. I don't know, YouTube hasn't paid me in since like January. So I don't know what's going on with that. I gotta contact AdSense or whatever. But I used to get sometimes like $100 for the month once in a while. A couple months I got it like $100 each month, but I don't know, they stopped paying me a while ago. I don't know what happened, but I've been getting suppressed. I never did YouTube for the money. It was never about that. It's always about just like getting the message out and talking to you all. And I also want to start a separate combat sports channel. I've always wanted to do that.
Morning.
Good morning. All these topics, of course, are my love, but I have other loves as well, like music and martial arts. I've been in combat sports most of my life, from wrestling to karate and then to kickboxing and Muay Thai. So I know just as much as that as I do about music and everything. Like I know all still to this day. I know all the. I still keep up with all the current world champions of Muay Thai and kickboxing and even UFC, even ONE FC and all the ones out in Japan and stuff like that. So I might do something separate like that and start interviewing fighters because there's more people think it's just like two people beating each other up. There's a spiritual side to fighting as well. And some people are just prize fighters and they do it because they're good at fighting and they want to get paid for beating people up straight up. But some people, a certain percentage, do it and it's sort of like a mystical experience. And these are the fighters that I would want to be interviewing. And it's part of the culture in Thailand and other places, other places too as well. That it's part of the spiritual experience, fighting. It's like everything from the music to the headdress to the everything is part of the mystical experience. So I might do that in the future as well. And my tensor tools or anything. Who's in there? Let me see the live chat. Oh, what's up, Desert? Desert of the... I can't see. It's like... My fucking phone is dying too. I got like 3% left. Let me put the brightness up. Desert of the Real. Pavel, what's up, brother? Dwayne Gleason. Lolo B. Scott Severini. Ooh, Scott Severini. How's it going, Italian man? Scott Severini. Ooh, Scott Severini. Danny Hangu. Danny Hangu. Meg Chiramonte. Yeah, we got an Italian there. Pavel. Meg Chiramonte. Yeah, you know what? My phone, I gotta get a new phone because I could go from like 70% to like 15% just by doing a 2-minute video. I gotta get a new vid. That's like on the checklist. That's like so much down. I know it'll help for here, but like YouTube, I don't get paid for YouTube. So this is just like side things. I got the good mic I needed for radio. I got my baby's car seat that I needed to get, so now I gotta fix the car. I had a little checklist of things that I needed to get recently, and that phone, unfortunately, I gotta put it a little further down on the list. But it's coming. I have a new laptop that's on that list too. So if we get a second stimulus check, I might have to just boom, get those shit done. Bang bang, boom bang. But I got a 2.5-year-old right now, so yeah, and I think it is the energy because normally, like I could watch YouTube on my phone for hours, and it pretty maintains it. It's when I do videos, it drains it so quick, really quick. Even when I do Zoom, if I do Zoom, I gotta leave it like. I gotta stay close to the wall and leave it plugged in. If I do it on my phone, I don't normally do Zoom on my phone. Desktop, all stuff that I need to like really do is from my desktop. But I do readings off my regular phone if it's in the United States. Like that works good. If I'm just doing like audio over the phone, that works good. It works for me just for the way my senses work. When I hear the vibration of somebody's voice, I start to see. I tap into it from there. And even if when I do readings in person, of course you greet people, you stay, but I don't look at them. I kind of close my eyes when I'm next to them.